I thought we were only getting the redactions on the victims. Oh my God. It turns out it's not just the victims whose names were redacted. It was co-conspirators. One must ask the question why the FBI was hiding and sheltering the names of co-conspirators. One must ask the question why they were sheltering the names of co-conspirators who weren't even American citizens, as a matter of fact. The document you cite has numerous victim names. We just have the unredacted Les Wexner's name from this document, but his name already appears in the files thousands of times. DOJ is hiding nothing. The co-conspirator document is redacted though, dumbass. Just because he is unredacted in other parts of the tranche of data that is readily available in the Epstein files doesn't mean that like this is not a profoundly important aspect of the document that you redacted. This is ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, we know Les Wexner is all over the Epstein files. We also know Les Wexner was directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein publicly. That's not something you can hide. Who are these people that Roe mentioned? Like Les Wexner is the owner of L Brands, Victoria's Secret, and is the reason why he has a tremendous amount of money like Jeffrey Epstein does.
Who are they protecting? Why are they protecting these rich and powerful men, people I call part of the Epstein class? Why are we in a country where there is no elite accountability for people who do the most heinous things? You have in England the king now calling for an investigation and possible prosecution of his own brother. You have in Norway the princess who no longer has support to be the queen. And yet in the United States of America, we have someone in the cabinet.
True. It is a pretty big L that you have monarchs that are showing more backbone than the supposed American democratic process here. It's pretty wild, man. European nation states demonstrate more competence in their governance than we do. We don't feel the need to do so. Yeah, it's startling how much a bigger impact the Epstein files is having in Europe than the US. They react in a more normal and more transparent manner to the Epstein revelations than we have. We just straight up look at the Epstein stuff and we're like, oh, wow, I guess we all, this is a moment of vindication for everyone that kind of knew that we have an elite pedophilic cabal that's basically running the country in a bipartisan manner, and they're connected through this one specific pedophilic sex trafficker who works for both the state of Israel and also the United States of America, definitely CIA and Mossad, and there's not really much we can do about it. It is what it is. Like, that's the attitude overall, and it's crazy.
It's about people who can accumulate wealth and power and don't have to care about the rest of America. They have destroyed so much of this country. Income inequality is at a 60-year high. Workers' salaries are less than they have been for 75 years as a part of GDP. Somehow this country seems to be working for the rich and powerful, but it's not working for ordinary working class Americans.
And it's all held together with elite relationships through pedophilia. It is crazy. Relationships to the nation state of Israel, relationships through pedophilia, sex trafficking of minors. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. Have you heard about the other guys other than Wexner and the Sultan? Yeah.
Congress members criticized what they called the over-redacted Epstein files.
What I saw that bothered me were the names of at least 6 men that have been redacted that are likely incriminated by their inclusion in these files. What we're after is the men who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked women to. We want those names published.
It's been more than a week since the US Department of Justice released millions of videos, texts and emails in connection with the Epstein scandal. A drip feed of information exposing a mapping of...
So they basically designed like a skiff style in Congress where you can go as a congressperson and like look at the unredacted files, right? The fear that I have is whether or not the unredacted files are the full complete files there, because we have no assurances. Like right now, one of the only ways that we can figure out whether or not these are all of the actual files is because of Gmail, right? Gmail instantly will download and then re-upload all of the files that the government releases, right? And you can check the metadata to see like what kind of Gmail. It's this effort made by random people that got together and took all of the Jeffrey Epstein vacation emails that were released that will automatically download and then upload all of the files that the administration is putting out there. there and then deleting. What's crazy about Gmail is that it's currently the only way that we can even figure out whether or not the administration is actually taking out some of the files. Because like, yeah, initially the files that they're releasing will be like, oh, here it is. And they basically made it easy to like go through it, right? They have the primary emails that he has sent. You can also see like, you can also search through people like, you know, Elon Musk and Ehud Barak and all these other like notable figures. All emails from the January 30th release are now browsable on Gmail. Shout out to Redacted AI for support on large-scale record processing. What's interesting about it is that they also upload all the data from the redacted Epstein files that the FBI, the Department of Justice, has released. And right now, when they release files, people browse through them, people scour through those files and find certain compromising files, and then the DOJ will go back and delete those files from the website. And Gmail, because they immediately download all the files that are released at first glance, is one of the only reliable ways that we can figure out like what they're actually deleting from the redacted files as well. My point is, it's virtually impossible for these like old boomers that will go to these like go to the unredacted files inside of Congress and identify what they've manipulated. Trump's FBI scrubbed these files in March. Yeah, Trump's FBI scrubbed these files back in March. Documents Justice got had the redactions the FBI had made back then.
There are certain documents that say there are 10 co-conspirators, 15 co-conspirators. In that document, some of them were women. Now, I don't know if those women were survivors or not survivors, but...
Can you speculate why those 6 were redacted? There's more than 6. 6 is just people that they know of as co-conspirators. 6 redacted names are co-conspirators that they've identified. There's probably a ton more, chat. These are just co-conspirators that the Department of Justice also identified as co-conspirators. This is a tiny, tiny sliver, like 0.001% of the overall documents that they've been able to look at. There's just too much information in here. And that it took them like 2 hours to go through all this stuff. So when they say 6 people that should have been unredacted but were hidden from the public as co-conspirators, they're talking about some high-profile individuals that they were able to identify. The real number is probably way, way higher than that. Who would be a shock to you if they were in the files? No one. At this point, no one. No one at all would be a shock to me. America is the greatest superpower on the planet, and America and Israel are in cahoots with one another, and therefore Jeffrey Epstein touched every single person. No pun intended. That's precisely the reason why you see him with like high-profile celebrities every now and then. Like, there is not a single person that would shock me. It depends on the level of connection that they had to Jeffrey Epstein. Like when you say, oh, if Michelle Obama was on there, I'd be shocked. Like, how is that shocking to you? Jeffrey Epstein was in these circles. Michelle Obama could have easily been at an event that Jeffrey Epstein was at. You know what I mean? I mean, Zoran's mom was at an event that Jeffrey Epstein was at. Hello? There's a difference between being mentioned in the files and being a co-conspirator, or the level of involvement that you had and the frequency in which you met Jeffrey Epstein. For example, the Obamas are not in the files directly, right? Like, they are mentioned in the files, of course, you know, because Barack Obama was the president. However, Barack Obama's close associates are directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And the same goes for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, as far as we know, did not have like a direct contact with Jeffrey Epstein at all. And yet there are a ton of people that are in close vicinity, close proximity to Joe Biden that are all up and down the Epstein files. They're constantly talking to Jeffrey Epstein. There's constant back and forth. There's constant correspondence. So it shouldn't be shocking to see like certain celebrities that you love that have been connected at some point with Jeffrey Epstein by way of just like being at the same event or something. That's normal. But like I said, it's not remotely surprising to me if we see anyone and everyone on there. Serious question, big bro. If they deleted some stuff entirely, if they could, why not delete most of them? I mean, I think they can't go super heavy-handed because obviously there are methods of figuring it out through the metadata, and that's the reason why they are figuring it out. It could also be because there's so much information out there that through this faucet of info, it's pretty hard to pick apart like the discernible parts of this. That's one thing. It makes it much harder to go through all the files and figure out exactly what's taking place. You also run into the problem with, this chatter is correct, there's rank and filers. Because when you have a conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy to keep something from the public, the larger the number of files are, the larger the number of agents that are working on the files, whether to redact them or to investigate it, right? And that means the likelihood of someone whistleblowing increases. This is why certain conspiracy theories are automatically considered ridiculous, like the moon landing, right? The amount of people that would have participated in creating the fake, like the staged moon landing, is so high that it's mathematically impossible for someone not to come out and reveal what actually took place. And I think like some of the Epstein revelations is the same as well, because so many people have played a role in the investigation. So many people have played a role in the cover up that if they were to like not follow through on the law, I suspect that there would be some naysayers that would come out and be like, well, here's where the government actually f***ed up, right? I mean, definitely for something, but this Epstein shows how long it can go before it all unfolds. You're kind of wrong, dog. Wait, what? You're watching it unfold right now, chatter. What are you talking about? And also, for many of you, this is your first encounter with Jeffrey Epstein's like crimes or all of the connected people to Jeffrey Epstein. For someone like myself and for many others in this community, this is just a confirmation of things that we already knew. You understand that, right? That in and of itself means that there were weak links in the chain that have allowed us to learn about what Jeffrey Epstein was up to. You know that, right? Like Les Wexner is not a new person. And the reason why they can't keep redacting Les Wexner's name from the entirety of the files is because we already knew for decades that Les Wexner was Jeffrey Epstein's primary financial benefactor. That's not a new piece of information at all. If anything, this kind of stuff coming out is just more evidence to something that we knew about already. But aren't we seeing how long this has gone on before it actually unravels? No, all of this stuff is just additional confirmation. Most of the things that we're finding out in this revelation of the Epstein files saga is just stuff that we knew about already. Like we knew Ehud Barak was deeply connected. We just didn't know exactly how connected he was or what the conversations looked like. These are suspicions being confirmed, or in many instances, additional information being revealed about things that we already knew. Like a lot of the stuff we knew about already. We knew that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent, but there wasn't this much confirmation before. Knowing and actual legal and evidence knowing is different. Chatter is right. Yes, you're 100% right about that, but doesn't this show the severity of how easy it is to cover up even crazy ass shit like this? Not necessarily. I think it proves exactly what I'm saying. When you have this many people involved, it's virtually impossible to keep it a secret. And that's precisely why we knew so much. There's a lot of obfuscation, and there's also an opportunity to like deflect the attention away. And that's why I rail against people that just regularly say like, oh, it's the Pizzagate conspiracy real, like that, because that's also playing a role in further obfuscating the truth. The real problem right now is not that like we don't know the full details. The real problem right now with the Epstein files is we know a lot more details now, a lot more evidence, and yet there is no accountability that comes after it.